Hey yo, Stuntman Doc. We're here for the Springfield, Missouri Truck Show at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, and we're going to look at a few trucks. One in particular, I came here to see the Rubber Duck, the original Rubber Duck from the movie Convoy with Chris Christopherson and Ali MacGraw. I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Hey, look at this, look. 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 Hey, look at this. Hey, look at this, look. Hey, look at this, look. Hey, look at this, look. Hey, look at this, look.
All right, this is Doc Elliott over here with Patrick Bruno, and he was going to tell you a little bit about this really cool truck that we got behind us.
So hi everybody, my name is Patrick Bruno. I'm from Festus, Missouri, which is just a half an hour south of St. Louis. And what you see here behind me is the surviving screen-used second unit truck and tanker from the 1978 movie Convoy. So there were officially 4 trucks used for a movie, and then there was one rolling guard that came from Mack that was came along with the first unit 77 Mack truck that EMI had custom ordered for the film. My dad had always been a fan of it since it ever came out. He had a VHS copy he literally wore the tape out of. And then when they came out with DVD versions of it in the early 2000s, he stayed up one night late and started just pausing scenes and just going through and started really looking very closely. And he realized that there was more than one rubber duck truck used for filming. So then he put up a website for his first trucking company at the time, and then putting information out there, putting up details. People would contact him who were involved with the movie and the studio and all that stuff, and he then got a pretty good idea of where he thought it could be. So in 2005, he went out to Los Angeles in the area of Burbank, where he met up with Neil Assasso and George Sack to the attempt to purchase the surviving truck from the movie Duel, which was Steven Spielberg's first movie, and trying to get that back to St. Louis. Blew the engine in Kingman, Arizona, so we had to leave the truck at the truck stop in Kingman, and had to have somebody pick it up. And on his way back up, stopped in a town called Logan, New Mexico, and it stopped at a place called Bruin Enterprises in Gravel, in which Bruin was the only non-fictional name of the movie that existed. And Fred Bruin, who was the owner and founder of it, had provided lots of trucks for the movie Convoy. That deal came up because he did a lot of extra work for a broker named Bill Davis, who got involved with Hollywood by transporting what were been told stolen horses from New Mexico to California for all the big filming Western things. So when Convoy comes up, they get a hold of Bill Davis that they want trucks, and then he asked around, and then the money was super good the time that Fred asked how many trucks you want, and just pulled him with these jobs and sent them. So the mini trucks that were his were Rats, Blue 352 Peterbilt, Oval Iguanas 352 Red and White Peterbilt, the Lizard Tongue black and silver Kim 100 pulling the hover bottom behind the rubber deck, that was his. And you see a 352 Peterbilt that was pulling a drive van that you see in the second part of the song, On the Way to the Chief Loves Roadblock. So so they were paid $14,000 by EMI Films, and he signed the check back over in exchange for this truck, the trailer, what was left of the other tank trailer, and just everything else. When he got this truck and trailer, he took it to the premiere of the movie like this, and took him care in New Mexico, which is just south of Logan off of Highway 40. And after the movie, turned it into a cement mixer, took everything off, put a cement body on it, and ran it up until 1986 when he blew a steer tire on the highway. So it sat apart in this quarry and just 19 miles north of Logan near the Texas state line for approximately 19 years. And then the trailer sat in pieces for 30 years. And then we found the truck and trailer in 2005. And we found the truck because when we stopped in Logan in 2005, he walked in because Fred had died a year after the truck was wrecked. And his sister Betty and her son / Ernie, Fred's nephew, Ernie, took over the company. And he stopped in the scale house and he said, "My name is Dan Bruno. I think you guys had something to do with the movie Convoy." And because the website was up, they knew he would stop by one day. So they put all these working scripts and just documentations to the movie. And they said, "Well, we still had the trucks for the movie." And he said, "That's why I'm here. I'd like to buy them." And so they said that they were in a quarry, and we had to come back because the rattlesnake situation that they had out there. So we stopped out there again in spring of 2007, May, June, all the way to the Colorado Springs ATX convention. We found the truck, and not knowing that they had the chain trailer, so we walked behind this little Doom stuff, and the trailer just sitting on these little duffs, just no wheels, no tires or anything. And we told him we wanted to buy the trailer too. And they said, well, there's a hole in it, you can't hold it. And he's like, well, it's the rubber duck tanker for the movie Convoy. And they died it was, and he finally convinced them that it was. So then they gave him a price, and we bought it back in late summer of 2007. Started rebuilding the truck and trailer, and we got it back roadworthy late winter, early spring of 2008. So we took it to Hutchinson, Kansas in 2008, and in 2009 we took it to Huntsville, Alabama, and we were getting reached out by people all over the world, fans, which is awesome, but we couldn't keep taking time out of our work or personal lives to meet them. So in St. Louis, there's a place called the Transportation Museum off of 270 and Doherty Ferry, which he has a long history of volunteering there. So when we had the rubber duck and the dual truck then, he worked out an agreement where they would sit there for the public to just come and see whenever they want to. And in 2009, since we've sold the dual truck to Brad White of Lincoln, North Carolina, he's about an hour northwest of Charlotte. And 2010, we came across the custom order Mac, the 77 that they had built for the film. And we found that, and we sold that in 2013 to collectors up in Quebec City, and I realized that the fun for us was just going chasing and finding it. Once he had him, he just kind of got bored. And a buddy of ours now from me, his name is Anthony Fox. He's from Rome, Georgia. Kept him texting us, hey, if you want to sell, let us know. If you want to sell, let me know. So we sold it to Anthony. He had it for a few years, and then he took it up to Brad Bikes every year. And he kind of got bored with it. He wanted to take us some drag racing stuff. So in late summer of 22, because he knew I wanted to get my hands on back on it one day. So late summer of 22, he contacted me. My dad asked if he wanted to buy it back, and so we started, working out that logistics. And we picked it up from Brad Bike's farm in our early spring of 24, and since then we've had it for about 2.5 years now, our second term.
That's unbelievable. Show us the inside.
Absolutely. So because the truck was wrecked, so the cabin header off of a 77 Western Mac, and then the sleeper itself, it's an able body, but it's off of an 85 Mac Superliner. So, and I will point out too, what you hear in the movie, none of the trucks ever had Detroits. They always had Cummins or Mack engines, and this one always had an 855 Cummins from the factory, and that's what's got it now. Right now, it's got a big Cam 3400 with only 17,000 original miles on it, so it's not even broken in yet. And now it's got a Super 10 Mac 4 transmission that came out of a mid-90s Mack CH 600 model.
Oh, look at this. This is amazing. Chris Christopherson was in this at some point.
Yes, he was. And so was Ally McGraw.
Yeah, and Ally McGraw. Oh, she was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a crush on her.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Cassie Yates was also in this track at one point, too, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So what you read in the Convo Now and stuff, so when you hear the term Sardo Man at Raphael's, Cassie Yates, who played a Violet at the truck stop, she was actually supposed to be Dirty Wow, Ernest Borgnine's wife in the movie. So after the speed trap, Rubber Duck is basically getting his revenge by sleeping with Wild's wife at the truck stop, and he knows about it really, and that's why he's so furious when he steps in the truck stop and he starts asking, "Where's the duck? Where's the duck?"
Right. Oh, good. So, you know a lot of history behind this. This is amazing.
Yes, it is. You want me to fire it up for you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All right.
That's awesome, Patrick. I really, really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm glad you like this piece of history.
Oh, I love this. This is awesome. You made my whole week.
Love to hear that.
Well, I really appreciate you showing me around this truck.
It's no problem.
Good job. Awesome truck. Awesome history. Hey, keep on trucking.
10-4.
All right.